Man, thank you guys. Hello. So my name is Ryan, and how do I say this? I'm an aspiring YouTuber. Okay, wait, that's not what I meant. Hold on. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, dude. What was I saying again? Okay, yeah, so I'm not really talking about the business tycoons that run the internet today. I'm more so talking about the old school YouTubers. Remember the ones that made parody music videos and skits that looked like television shows? Yeah, that's my dream. But recently, as I've been chasing this dream, I've been having these realizations, just one after the other, that all culminate into a single question. Let me set the scene for you guys. So the date is September 3rd, 2023. The setting, the quiet suburbs of Austin, Texas, where not a single house looks the same. I brought 2 suitcases, a MacBook Pro, a black folder filled with comic books, postcards, and my Ryan the Lion post-it notes. Camera gear that I have not upgraded for the last 3 years. I have a room that I plan on staying in for the next 12 months. And I can't tell if I made the best decision of my life or if I just fucked myself. Over the last 3 years, I've done anything and everything I could to force this dream into a reality. And now that I've finally moved out of my parents' house, it feels like the questions and doubts are only getting more intense. Am I finally going to catch the big break that I've been waiting for? Or am I just going to be living paycheck to paycheck as I watch younger people achieve their wildest dreams? It seems like every story nowadays is about a viral sensation, the entrepreneurial daredevil that never fails. What happened to the losers? The artists that create for years and decades without seeing anything? What happens to their stories? This is Jonathan Larson. Hailing from the suburbs of White Plains, New York, with a bachelor's of fine arts from Adelphi University, Jonathan was ready to change the world with his art. The year is 1982, when he decides to make the famous pilgrimage to New York City. His housing of choice, a broken down apartment on the dingy streets of Lower Manhattan, where the bathtub is in the kitchen and central heating is non-existent. But to him, this was paradise. This was all a part of his grand plan. And the mission? To change the face of Broadway forever. In the age of boring mega musicals, Jonathan was going to be the one who told real stories. Stories with depth and characters that could inspire an entire generation. In the run-down, rickety streets of downtown New York City, it was Jonathan Larson who was going to wake up the world from the cycle of mindless content into a brighter reality. So, if there was one thing to know about Jonathan, it's that he was one of the greatest songwriters you'd ever have the chance of meeting. See, Jonathan could have gotten any creative job in the world. A 6-figure advertising gig, a successful career on New York's Upper East Side. But instead, Jonathan chose to work at the infamous Moondance Diner. And for 3 days a week, Jonathan waited tables, itching to get home to perfect his magnum opus, the masterpiece that would one day be his golden ticket to the big stage. And he called it Superbia. the dystopian rock musical based in the future, where the majority of humans spend their lives staring at the screens of their media transmitters, watching other people film their lives for the world to see. There were going to be robots and spies and electric pianos, and it was going to be beautiful. The first musical made for the MTV generation, he'd always say. But the journey of Superbia wasn't always so easy. In fact, things were never really easy for Jonathan. As 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3, he slowly began to question his chances. Were his dreams too unrealistic? Was he being too naive and stubborn to understand the reality of the world? Before he knew it, 8 years would have gone by. 8 years of waiting tables, 8 years of workshops and rewrites and letters to producers who never responded. And then, one day, after a successful presentation, just 72 hours before his 30th birthday, Jonathan gets a call.
Hello.
And it would change his life
Hi, Rosa.
forever.
Thank you so much for calling.
Well, you already left 6 messages.
Yeah. So, have you heard anything yet?
Honey, I have heard nothing but raves. All day long, I'm getting call after call after call.
Wow. Okay. Yes. That's great news.
Everyone is telling me the same thing. That Jonathan Lawson. I can't wait to see what he does next.
What do you mean? What I do next? What about Superbia?
I always told you it was a tough sell. You got a cast of thousands with special effects. Charlie, tell him I'll be on in a sec. Listen, sweetie,
Rosa.
I'm sorry,
Rosa.
Congratulations on a terrific presentation.
Rosa, hold on. So, okay. So what am I supposed to do now?
You start writing the next one. And after you finish that one, you start on the next. And on and on. And that's what it is to be a writer, honey. Okay, kiddo?
Yeah.
Start sharpening those pencils.
Yeah.
February 4th, 1990. Today, Jonathan officially turns 30 years old. His apartment is freezing, and 3 days ago, a 2-minute phone call destroyed all his hopes and dreams. It's official. He's become the thing he feared the most. The starving artist, the waiter that happens to make music on the side. But on the bright side, Jonathan had nothing to lose. And if Broadway found Superbia to be too expensive and too confusing, then his next script was going to be something they couldn't possibly refuse. Jonathan was making a one-man play about his own life, and he was calling it Tick, Tick, Boom. What took him almost a decade to accomplish with Superbia took Jonathan just over a year to surpass with his new musical. And with the success of a new play on his resume, Jonathan could almost feel himself opening the gates of Broadway. And in 1996, nearly 15 years after moving to New York, Jonathan was ready to present his newest rock musical, Rent. The joy in the air is palpable as he stands outside the New York Theater Workshop, wondering if this could be the musical that changes everything. Could he actually inspire an entire generation?
And the 1996 Tony Awards goes to Jonathan Larson for Rent.
Not the king, it's not the side.
And so there he was. Nearly 6 years after Superbia's failure, Jonathan was officially 1 day away from Rent's first premiere. I mean, 15 fucking years. A little longer than he expected, but he was finally here. Last week, he cashed in his final check from the diner, and in a couple days, Rent was about to be featured in the New York Times. It all felt so surreal. I mean, he talked about it for years, but to finally see the colors and characters in front of his eyes, it felt so electric. That night, he left dress rehearsals ecstatic about what the next day could bring. Who would come? What would the energy feel like? And when the curtains close and the final lights dim, how would his life change? Most people don't recognize Jonathan's life as a success. For a while, I didn't either. Because just hours after arriving home from dress rehearsals, Jonathan's roommate would find him lying on the apartment floor, unresponsive. It was Thursday night, January 25th, 1996, the night before Rent's first premiere, when Jonathan Larson collapsed from a sudden aortic aneurysm. He was just 35 years old. There's a painful but almost liberating feeling about Jonathan's story. Maybe that's why I went searching for it as I settled into my new life. It's a harsh reminder of the countless artists spending their lives making things that may never work out. But maybe our purpose for creating never needed to be so grand, so loud. Maybe we don't have to change an industry or even make a living to continue. Creating isn't a job like other jobs. It doesn't always reward the most talented or even the hardest working. But if we choose to stick with it long enough, it might offer us something else. New worlds to explore, sides of ourselves that we never knew existed. It just points to a quality within all of us that keeps us curious. It reels us in by daring us to dream. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know more about how I made this film, I uploaded a free video on my Patreon about the crazy story of how I pulled this off. And if you want to see the rest of my scripts, commentaries, and tutorials, you can get almost everything for just $4. So check it out if you want to. And yeah, talk to you later.